Hello everyone, and today I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. Actually, let me rework that. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, and well, that right there was a lame way to try and microcosm the entire video. Because essentially, I think there are quite a few heroes that really need a genuine bit of tweakage. And I don't even mean power levels, I don't mean... No, I mean... power Look, all I'm saying is there is too many damn heroes that are hardly ever played, and it's clear that some of them, the reason for that is not they are too weak, which means they are either one of two things, too niche, or just not fun to that many people. And the prime example of this is TORBJORN, who has an excellent win rate, second highest in the game, except he's picked 5th least just 1% of the time. Those two things are hard to quantify together. I mean, the answer with Torb, you would think, and I would tend to agree, leans towards the nicheness, right? Where he's good, he is really good, and he gets jobs done. But in the general sense, he's not really worth taking, so he doesn't see a lot of play. But I refuse to accept it's entirely that he's too niche. But even if that was the case, that's still a problem, right? Having a hero picked so infrequently, for all intents and purposes, if you only see them, what, once every 100 games, which is what this is, then they kind of don't really exist, right? Your experience as a player, at least I would argue, and for me personally, is lessened because to me, I'm only facing 24 heroes, not 25, and that gives me less variety in my opponents and team rates, and therefore, however quantifiably small, lowers my enjoyment of the game. And while it's obviously impossible to have every hero in a fairly similar pick rate, I think the skew right now is just really quite awful. The fact that there are 5 heroes that see play less than 1% of the time? Come on! And it's something that I have been considering in terms of just little reworks here and there, because there's not been one in a while. BlizzCon is coming and that might shake things up, but mainly I don't think there's inherently wrong with the idea that characters in Overwatch can get balanced mechanically a lot more frequently than they are. I think there is too much of a hang-up on numerical changes and keeping characters sacredly how they are, because think about it, every single rework that has happened has been a huge exciting deal. D.Va's getting rockets, Mercy remembering that her Valkyrie suit actually does let her fly, and maybe I should use that on the battlefield where it would be a great advantage finally after a year. And hell, even going further back to Bastion and Symmetra, it was really cool when you're like, oh, they've got this new ability, that's awesome, I can't wait to see how that lets them operate in various different modes, and that's so cool, I bet you can actually use this character to do this now, and that raises and lowers their pick rate in various situations. And I don't think that if you go, look, this character's got a low win rate, a low pick rate, right, they only really do well on control, let's actually give them something new, let's change how an ability functions. Let's not just make them more or less numerically powerful. Let's take Mei for example. She's got a really low pick rate, and she's got a really low win rate as well, so she's not great right now. But what if between seasons they went, okay, so Mei, lore-wise, has gone to tinkering on her ice gun, she built it herself, she could of course modify it, and she's like just widened the nozzle. I realized that was, out of all the things I could think of, sciencey, no, she just widened the fucking nozzle, and now she can freeze 2 targets at once with her left click. And it's a mechanical change, right? Something new she couldn't do before, and maybe, just maybe, that's enough to get her picked, because she can disable people who clump together. If you get dived on, your supports have been absolutely dunked by a Genji and a Winston and a Tracer, and now you have Mei there who can freeze 2 of them at once. Ooh, that might actually ward off dive. I'm not saying it would, this is just off the top of my head, but the fundamental change of how she plays, but in a way that makes sense both gameplay and lore-wise, to increase her effectiveness. I think that's really cool, and I think Overwatch has the space to do that a lot more often. And the thing is, even with the, well, what if they get it wrong? We'll just change it again, right? I think Overwatch as a game and its characters have the potential to be a lot more flexible than similar games. So, I want to talk about TORBJORN, because as I said, his win rate to pick rate is very interesting, and to solve that, we need to make him less niche and a spice more fun. And to do that, I have two main ideas. One is just a little bit less, I'd say, creative, but definitely works. And the second one is just awesome. So, the first one. It's weird to me that TORBJORN has an entire resource system dedicated to him that's used for just one pretty basic move, scrap for the scrap pack. So why don't we actually use the turret in relation to scrap in a much more impactful way? TORBJORNs like to camp turrets. The good ones fight because TORBJORN's gun is amazing, but I think the character inherently encourages turret camping and then just trying to left-click snipe people from where your turret is plonked, you know? And I think what you want to do is come up with a way to get TORBJORN in there using his powerful shotgun a little bit more. So I would actually make his turret cost scrap to build. Let's say you have to get to 200 scrap, the scrap cap, and then you can use that scrap cap to build your, say that 10 times fast, and you can use that to build a turret. But the catch is, that turret's there doing its thing, you get back to 200 scrap, and you build another turret, maybe at a cooldown or a cap so it doesn't get too out of control, so a team that isn't losing every engagement comes back to 22 turrets around the point. But you see the point, right? If you have to be there getting scrap to build your turret, that means you have to be fighting and collecting it. You can't just chill anywhere that it's super safe, knowing that your turret is doing work and you're just left click trying to pick people off and help. You have to get in there a little bit and actually collect it, which means TORBJORN's around more to throw clutch armor packs because he's more next to people. He's actually using his, you know, the most powerful shotgun in the game, by the way, and that way he can go in, have an engagement, help his team fight, come out with a load of scrap, build a turret down, go back in, do all of that, and it kind of adds a proper flow, a proper rhythm to the character. And yeah, it might be too much of a shift in direction. Maybe this takes him out of pure defensive as a hero, and yes, the ult brings complications because you can't have every turret go level 3 because that would be insanely powerful. Maybe just one, maybe you take away the higher levels of turrets, though that is definitely an argument for less fun. Just give him the molten core, make him have super scrap generation so that he can build them really fast, or make it so that during molten core you have a choice. You can hammer one of your turrets, which makes it mega super powerful, maybe what would be level 4 turret, but you're useless because you're just hammering the turret, or you use yourself in that molten core form to do some scrap farming and some heavy duty killing. That way you have a choice. Do I want super me, or do I want super turret? And in both cases, it's impactful in different situations. And that's key, right? Being impactful in different situations instead of just the very niche one that he is. And because this would get him played more, it means he would lose more statistically because he's seeing more games, which would probably overall bring his win rate down, so it's not even really strictly a buff if the numbers are adjusted correctly along with the mechanical change. So, let me know what you thought about that one. You know, again, these are just examples to support the theory of mechanical buffing and nerfing on a more frequent, flexible basis. This second one, I absolutely adore. And essentially, it can be explained like this.
We should take my turret and push it somewhere else!
So TORBJORN loves his turret, right? He always gets super emotional when it dies, and that kinda sucks. And one of the things that's really a big weakness for the character is entering a fight that's already in full swing, or entering a point that's being taken and trying to get your turret down and start using it, it just gets blown up, or it's not online in time to be of any help, and basically re-engaging from running back from spawn into a fight because your turret's gone and you need to build another one is kind of tricky, and it makes Torbjorn's re-engagement potential really quite low. So what would happen, right, if Torbjorn could, like we've seen him do everywhere but in-game, just pick up his turret and fucking move it? So you pick up your turret, your camera goes third person like Reinhardt with his shield out, you move slower, you can't use your weapon anymore, but you are holding your turret, which means from the front, let's say the turret takes damage before you do, you're moving slowly, but you're now having a mobile Torbjorn turret that's shooting people as you shuffle along, and then you can plop it back down, it does its thing, and you go back to fighting. So you get back from spawn, build a level 2 turret a little bit out of sight, pick it up, waddle into line of sight of the enemy, it shoots some people, you place it down, and then go to fighting. Wouldn't that add such a fun dynamic to the character? And it makes so much sense. It is a mobile freaking turret. It's not this heavy duty grafted to the ground heavy artillery beast. You see Torbjorn pick it up all the time. Hell, he's got a freaking victory pose where he's hugging the thing. Hell, he's got a highlight intro where it's his son. So the fact that when it's getting hammered by the enemy, he's there trying to, you know, hammer it back together faster than heavy duty explosives can destroy it, he just moves it, right? You move it, you take it somewhere safe, place it back down, repair it, pick it back up, take it back out, place it back down, right? It's much more engaging. And just the idea of being a mobile Torbjorn turret, like you walk into a building where someone's in holding your turret and it starts shooting them and they're like, is this actually happening? That creates to me some amazing moments too. Imagine a Torbjorn hugging his turret, walking slowly with a Reinhardt behind his shield while it auto-targets people, and it's not crazy powerful because it is still AI targeting. You can play around it, you can definitely kill him because he is vulnerable in that state. It's a double-edged sword. It might not be targeting the dude that is trying to kill you or the dude that is injured. It might be trying to uselessly shoot a tank through a barrier, and therefore you put it down and you give up on it for now. But it allows for some really cool creative play, and hell, even some surprise moments when someone walks into a building with you, and I just think it would be so much fun and makes so much sense from a lore perspective of what Torbjorn could do and probably does actually do with his turret, because he's not constantly building them everywhere. How much metal do you think he keeps on his person? He would try and keep it alive, moving it through the battlefield and using it as a mobile defensive position, which again makes him a lot less niche because he can be a lot more flexible as to where he is with his power, and that's really good. So what do you think about that, right? I think that is awesome. Obviously, this video is just, you know, in essence say, let's imagine stuff and have fun, but in this case, I think it's something that is both, well, a lot of fun, but also healthy for the game when it is addressing the severely underpicked heroes. Look at poor Doomfist. Third lowest win rate and lowest pick rate, less than 0.5%. Poor Doomfist, he got nerfed so hard. You give him a little bit more of a yo, you take Doomfist and you fix this. You give him a better hitbox to hit this, and then you let him aim anywhere that he wants, not just along the ground. You let him aim up in the sky, and my oh my, you can see him go fly, and he can hit Farah down to the You know when you really enjoy something, but you're cringily bad at it, and it's kind of a curse? I like rapping. I can't rap. I should cut this take. Like, I really should. But I don't wanna. I don't want, you know, I'm human too, okay? Look, But you see what I mean, right? Sombra, she's got a really low pick rate and a really low win rate. She's not that good. Granted, a lot of these things change if the meta shifts and suddenly that hero's strengths are needed. But Sombra, imagine if, say, her right click activated her passive. So you hack someone and then you can see them through walls just generally. An individual single target, I can see you through walls for a while. Maybe don't let your team as well, but it lets you really single someone out and direct one of your teammates to catch them by surprise. That could make her a lot better at eliminating key targets. Someone like Anna, who is woefully weak and not picked a crazy amount, but picked respectably, but she's just so weak. Her win rate is the worst in the game. I think what she needs is a little bit of damage back. You let Mercy have the support healing crown, and then you let Anna be a support that can still do respectable healing, although not as much, but can really get some damage throwing. And the easy way to do that, she left clicks someone, they start taking damage, you hit them again, suddenly they've got 2 darts pumping this liquid in, you hit them again, 3 darts, 4, 5, that's going to take its toll. It's not just going to do the same damage every time, it's going to ramp up and up and up as their body contains more and more and more of this cell destroying liquid. So maybe every dart hit within, say, 2 seconds of the last does 20% more damage. So if you're really good at consecutively aiming and hitting, you can really focus down single targets as Anna, which makes sense for a sniper, you know? Little cool things like that. So what I want from you guys is to choose a hero, do a little mechanical tweak, make them more interesting or fun in some way, and let me know what you got, because I love it when you guys come up with your suggestions. They're always a blast to read, and I want to see what you got. But for now, my name has been Rage. Like you've enjoyed this and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video flow, shenanigans in Overwatch, and his fans all know that every single thumbnail that this man makes without fail makes you do a double take, catching your attention with every verse. See, say that you need healing but you're at his mercy. Get it? Cause it's a pun. On his channel, that's one of the better ones. Widow is venomous, I see no end to this. Cataclysm's imminent when Rage is in his element. Pandemonium is not familiar with irrelevance. Maximum Genji beam, oh so elegant. Jokes so funny causing you to cry. Editing is quality as the noon is high. Yo, concussion man, shoot to the sky. Cap it all off with a goodbye.